Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Push to Talk. We're live, and let me tell you, this is the most boring pre-show discussion we have ever had. And I don't know whether to blame Arendis for saying let's keep our powder dry, or
I blame
Dawn,
your dispatcher.
because Dawn. You blame my dispatcher?
I blame your
I
dispatcher.
blame my dispatcher for a lot of things. That's gonna be an interesting thing. Right? Holy crap. I was as folks who kind of have some insight into some of what might go on in your friendly neighborhood prime van. I have some
Well,
stories I could tell, but I'm trying to figure. I've talked to
apparently the
legal.
one thing you don't want to go on in your friendly neighborhood prime van is a black light.
I really have to see if I really should check with legal and see what we're allowed. Maybe we should have a segment, Amazon Prime story time, and different things that different companies have encountered that do this delivery. I heard some. We were on a Zoom meeting yesterday, drinking beer and chit chatting and sharing stories, and some of them were just downright hilarious. You know,
Uh-huh.
it's kind of crazy out. It's a crazy world out there. You think you've heard things? Holy shit! Woo! All right. So what are we talking about here early? Caleb, he's got the cancer stick going there.
Yes,
And
stop that shit.
you know, good thing we don't have smell-o-vision. Carneros would enjoy that. I'm assuming Carneros, you would enjoy the crazy prime delivery segment, so that would be good. And hello again,
Probably more than smell-o-vision, yeah.
smell-o-vision. Do you remember early Food Network? You had Emerald Lagasse, and he wanted wait till we get smell-o-vision.
Yes.
The difference is, he
That
probably
dude's
wanted to
so
smell
weird.
what he was cooking.
That dude is just so messed up in the head.
Is he really? I don't know much about him. All I know is like watched him on a show and like, wow, I want to eat the food he cooks. You want a daughter story to start the show off? You want a daughter story?
Sure, why
All
not?
right, all right. So last week, we had daughter birthday week. Part 1, 2, and 3. It was like it's crazy. So my wife and I we don't go out for like Valentine's dinner by ourselves because we talk constantly, and so we're not going to say anything over a private dinner with just the two of us. We don't even do anniversary dinners. Like we invite our parents. It's weird, right? So we take our kids to Valentine's dinner with us all the time. It's just a family thing. So we went to a place that none of them have ever been to, but I've been to a number of times, and it's a great seafood place here. The owners are just fantastic. They just do a great job. I mean, it's just amazing. The place is like on a Wednesday, the place is packed. Okay. Um, so anyway, so we order some grilled oysters. Okay, 12-year-old daughter never had oysters. She's just there. And by the way, for a week she is complaining there is nothing at this place that I will eat. Okay, keep that in mind. She's looking at the menu online, right? Meanwhile, this is like amazing food, right? So we all order, and she orders herself a fillet, and she looks at and the waiter goes, "What temperature would you like that at?" Right, and she looks him dead in the face, right, and she goes, "Medium rare." And I'm sitting there going, "You're not going to eat anything rare, medium rare." So they do bring it medium, and she doesn't even know, so that's fine, right? But we order all the appetizers because we're an appetizer family, and she gets the grilled oysters. They have really good grilled oysters there. So she eats two because there's three of us that are going to eat them, and there's six on a plate. We're all done with dinner. This girl has eaten more food than I've ever seen her eat in my entire life, in her entire life, right? And we're about to order dessert, and she goes, I need more oysters. We're like, but you just said you were full. You ate a quarter of your steak, which is a lot for her. It's a big fillet. She goes, I have an oyster stomach, and I want more oysters. So So we order another fleet of oysters before dessert. And they put it down in front of her. And I look at the waiter and I said, What's the over under on her eating all of those or just eating one and now the rest of us have to eat them? He goes, I think she'll eat them all. She ate them all. She ate six more oysters all by herself. Just
there you go.
slurped them down. And then she ordered dessert for everyone. She ordered dessert for her mom, dessert for her brothers, and dessert for me. I didn't even know I ordered dessert. I had a decaf coffee. Okay, that's what I ordered for dessert. No, this, Reese's peanut butter pie thing. And by the way, it's like it's all made in house. They have their own pastry chef and all that. So all the desserts are made in house, right? And we have all these desserts, and I'm saying, where did this come from? And so she goes around and eats off everybody's plate, tastes everybody's dessert, and then she proceeds to eat most of her dessert. And I'm sitting here going, we've never seen her eat this much in our entire life, right? She's it was amazing. So that's the daughter story. She likes oysters now, but she didn't like anything at the seafood place. There was nothing for her to order.
Clearly.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Soth.
Soth, what's shaking, brother?
I'm currently busy making a schedule.
You don't sound busy.
You're making a schedule? How hard is it to make a schedule? You're just like, write shit down.
You say that, but I mean, when you have so many teams sign up for your tournament, then it gets rather hard.
When is that tournament again?
Well, he's trying to schedule it.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't you have days already in mind? Don't we have banners?
Yes.
Should I have a banner that I should put up here that says, make sure you go watch the Anger Games episode 43 on this date?
Yeah, it's starting May 28th.
All right. May 20. I need a banner for the show, Spock, just so you know. You sound a little tired.
No, just
Well, you better get those brackets done, Soth. You've only got 3 months to work it out.
Yeah.
Oh, the brackets are done. It's just the schedule.
I was gonna say, how hard can it be to put them in a generator and be like,
Everybody's ganging on Smug, also known as Soth.
Yeah, I know. How hard can it be?
Also, this is all voluntary. You don't have to set these up, so.
And I still object to your rule that, everybody gets a free 100 points if they bring them a carry-out. I think that was just silly.
If you can prove that your entire team is legally intoxicated, let's give them 600 points. Anybody else like that rule?
I don't think you should just give them 600 points. I think, however, if you can prove that your entire team is legally intoxicated, they should earn double points for everything they managed to kill.
There you go. I like that. That's it? You guys are
I don't know, South was talking.
unchatty today. It's going to be like the worst show ever.
So, Dawn, have your people been killed by the Stormbreakers yet? Dawn. She must be dealing with fleet stuff.
She's muted and deafened.
Yep, dealing with fleet stuff.
So, what are you thinking about those changes that hit Sissy today?
That's the powder we were keeping dry. Go, horrendous.
There are changes coming? Like what, Soth?
Surprising, isn't it?
Why don't you tell us about these changes, Soth?
You want me to tell you about these changes?
I want you to tell you about these changes.
God damn you. Well, where do I even begin? So they are increasing resistances on resist mods. and at the same time they're giving a bonus to all battleships that increases the effectiveness of extenders and plates by 100%. Sorry, extenders by 100%, plates by 50%.
They're only 50%, yes. And the change to resists is that they are rolling back 50% of the decrease in resistance effectiveness from surgical strike. They're calling this something bulwarks. Which is great because absolutely none of the modules that improve your hull are affected. Right, all battleships except the Praxis, apparently. So...
No love for the Praxis.
Well, it already gets to do everything.
I didn't know the Praxis was a battleship. So, there you go.
So, Saab, how do you see this playing out? Like, what impact do you think this is going to have overall?
I think this will lead to nothing. Because it will make alpha more important, which means that ships that are known for their alpha will be fielded more, which means more munits.
Nothing. Wow.
Yeah, I don't think this will change anything big. It could mean that battleships are fielded a bit more in defensive situations. But battleships are still slow as fuck. So it's not like you're going to bring them 3 regions over.
As Carneris points out, they are adding mobility to battleships by reducing the fitting costs of the large micro jump drive.
How does that help with
however,
going gate to gate?
That's the problem. Battleships will still be used for defense because battleships are currently used for defense. Battleships are a great defensive option against hacks because you don't have to gate the battleships around your own goddamn space. But anytime you've got to take something somewhere else, nobody's going to touch the goddamn battleships. They're just not going to get used. This is not actually going to change anything except possibly put some nails into Eagles. Because they won't have the alpha.
Yeah.
They'll have great resists. Don't get me wrong. Eagles are going to have tremendous fucking resists. But it's not actually going to upset the meta at all. I wish it would. I think this is a step in the right direction. I think this is a good set of changes. And I think CCP is trying to actually make something decent happen. Unfortunately, it addresses things that aren't the reason battleships don't get used. Battleships don't get used because they take forever to get anywhere. It's not even too little too late. It's the wrong thing. Like, it's a good change, but it's not... It's like saying, hey, look, your van is... your electric van can carry more. That's great, but you're still not going to take it cross country because it doesn't have the range. It just can't get there. The fact that it can carry more and stop halfway doesn't really help. I wish it would. I really, really wish it would. I wish these changes would fix the problem.
What was the problem they were trying to fix?
People aren't using battleships as much, or people need to use battleships more. And the things that they're addressing, because they're also, it looks like, going to be shifting the industry, is battleships will get cheaper, and battleships will have more EHP. And those things are great, and they make battleships much stronger, but only in the role they're already being used for. Corlax, no, see, that's just it. I don't care if you remove the assault damage control. Nobody's taking a battleship fleet 20 jumps.
Mm-hmm.
It takes too long to get there. And frankly, removing the assault damage control is a perfectly viable option. I think that it's a little bit excessive. I'd just make the ADC one use. But, you know, I can see the argument for removing it.
I like. I want to investigate Starscream, Commander Starscream's comment there. Rattati looked like someone shot his dog on that Twitch stream the other day. More CCP layoffs coming soon? Question. I don't know. What was Rattati even talking about on that? I mean, I completely don't care what CCP says because it's all irrelevant because it's dumb. But help me understand, folks.
I mean, everything we could do here is a guess, right? But you can clearly tell that this is a major shift in how they are approaching this, which probably means that this wasn't really where Rattati wanted to go with the changes. So someone else made that decision. But again, that's a guess.
Yep.
Well, there's a lot of changes that I'm happy about. I kind of I get some people's complaints, like Dave Stark, who wants to complain that why do we have to have these changes in the first place? But at this point, I think you just need to move on and work with what we're getting. And I'm very happy.
I think the changes we're getting are good changes, and they're ones that CCP needed to make. Not necessarily because they're going to fix all this stuff, at least not as far as the ship balance changes go. But they needed to do some changes that showed, hey guys, listen, we're trying to give you some stuff too. And then there's the changes Dawn is talking about, which actually have people pissed off, and that has me kind of laughing at them. Guess what, Dawn? Those changes you're talking about, they're pissing people off who solo mine and orcas.
How would these changes affect a solo
Because
mine?
now they have to stop. They have to be stuck in place.
It's true. They can't just drift forever.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, you can't drift in mine now?
Like the compression change. Well, the thing is, what's going in is compression, and the compression changes are good, but people are getting pissed off about it because to use the compression module, you basically have to be locked in place. Which means to get something the Orca doesn't already have, you have to lock it in place. So they're bitching. They could just keep using the Orca the way they have, and it's fine.
Yeah. I mean,
But people want to get upset.
Yeah, I remember high-sec drift mining long, long ago, right?
And yes, Goonie, that's exactly it. These are baby steps in a marathon.
Yeah, they'll forget where they're going and be distracted by shiny things, right?
Oh, let's hope not.
I disagree that Rattati wants constructive discussions. He doesn't strike me as someone who wants to discuss anything. So he wants to dictate. Yeah, well, he seems more of a dictator.
He does tend to listen.
All right. So if you want to be a whole roller, go over to Atticad and get the there's only 2 sigils, so I only need 2 of you.
Dawn, wrong comms.
Yeah, wrong comms, babe. Wrong comms, babe.
Oh, sorry. Just keep talking.
So everybody on stream, now you know where Dawn needs a whole roll. Go for
it. They're holy rollers, right?
She wants some sigils.
That is their name.
Oh, yeah. She wants some massive sigils.
There's so much wrong with you, horrendous. I really don't
know. I know, right?
It's a beautiful thing, and I enjoy the fact that you're that way. So, Oh, we need to drink beers. That's what we need to do. When's he Vegas? Or
they're
Vegas
announcing it this weekend, right?
Cool. I'm definitely going this year. No questions asked. gonna
We're
set up my
going to
life.
Fogo de Chow's
Well-
and we're going to eat unlimited meat, right?
Unlimited meat, and we're gonna order the lobster thing in the middle, like Morgan likes to do. Oh shit! Son of a bitch! No way! It can't be 2023. Well, actually, I might be there. Let me see.
The decision was based on which dates will be most inconvenient for Eric.
It usually is, and it's very challenging, and the reason is, let me see when Open World is. My understanding is we're in person this year in Vegas.
So what? You might be there anyway.
I might be there anyway, and not actually have to pay my own way, which might be so much cooler.
That could be amazing.
Oh, I swear we were talking about those dates anyway, and since I think it's moved to Vegas. Dun, 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 dun. I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to do some looking. You know, we'll have to pretend. We'll have to figure out who's a client. Horrendous, Solid, Caleb. You guys might all have to be clients.
Can you tell I'm not paying attention?
Huh?
Nope.
Go ahead.
No. I thought you were in my kitchen fixing my kielbasa and kraut mixture that's in there. Keep them warm. But you're not there, are you? You're not helping my kids take care of that, are you?
Nope.
Damn. There's no official hotel this year? That's because we're all going back to the Cosmo. So we can eat breakfast at Egg Slut. I have to bring the missus. She always is amazed that all of us geeks get together and talk, and we actually act like we know each other, which we kind of do. So,
Exactly.
I'm just gonna drink this year. I mean, it's just gonna be I'm just gonna drink, just drink and drink and drink, unless I have to actually work, which would suck. And so I'm hoping that those dates are not the dates that are in my brain for Open World.
What?
Carneros seems to have
What?
a lot of information here, doesn't he? We're supposed to spread out.
Yes,
Why should we spread out?
So the dynamic bounty system doesn't completely nerf Vegas. Duh.
What? I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
So the dynamic bounty system doesn't completely nerf Vegas.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that. Like the DBS and the BRMs and all the other acronyms were frozen for like 8 weeks.
That was fun.
What do you mean the acronyms are frozen for 8 weeks? I have to understand.
So apparently the bounty modifiers, the bounty risk modifiers and systems weren't moving for weeks.
Yeah.
They just fixed it.
The system that tracks all that wasn't communicating back to TQ.
Do we do any regression testing or have any QA team? I'm just asking.
Well, no. What happened?
Question.
What happened there? What happened there was one of the devs was working on optimizing how that system communicated, and it broke. And he communicated that it had broken, and was continuing to work on fixing it and getting it properly optimized. And it just took a couple of weeks to do it. And because he wasn't thinking in terms of how does this impact the end experience, he notified people about the behind the scenes stuff, but it never went into a dev blog. And when CCP got asked about it, he did comment on the Reddit thread admitting to everything that happened and explaining what went on. So, that it's very much a shit happens, it's fixed. Sorry, guys. So okay.
So we pushed something into production. We knew when it was broken, or we didn't know it was broken until after we pushed it in production.
It wasn't
Which was this?
production. It wasn't broken when it was pushed out live. It's just in the process of trying to improve it, he broke it.
So some code had to get pushed to improve it, right?
He was working on the live system.
Which is usually something you shouldn't do.
No,
Yeah.
no. I always test my code in production. I think that's the best place to do it.
Like I said, it was a fuck up, but he copped to it, and I'm perfectly happy to say, okay, that shit happens. He'll know better next time. It was a couple of weeks, big deal. Other people who've been, making a lot of extra money off of the systems where the bounties were not properly lowered, they're bitching because now their bounties are properly lowered and they feel that's not fair. Curiously, this seems to all be in like Outer Passage.
I mean, he could have claimed it to be a feature, so yeah,
Dude,
I'm
the
good with
the
it.
version of events that I had actually written up as a joke thing was CCP admits to fucking test. So honestly, like this could have been spun so many worse ways, but the dude just coming up and going, "No, yeah, I fucked up. I'm sorry." Okay. I will give him credit for that, because let's face it, someone at CCP saying, "I fucked up, I'm sorry," that in and of itself right there, that's a major step forward.
Yep, I'm marking that day in my calendar.
Wait, who said it?
I think it was CCP Tron.
I don't believe that. None of them ever admit they made a mistake.
Let me see if I can find it.
In other news, CCP Aurora is no longer a community developer.
No?
No, she is now a game designer.
Huh. That's a shame. Now they're going to expect her to do stuff that she'd already been doing.
Yeah.
Like, fixing Thunderdome.
No, Thunderdome is no longer. Well, she's going to help with it, but
See?
it's not officially her thing
Sure,
anymore.
it's not. There's officially and there's actually. Let's be real here. Where the hell did Eric go?
I don't know.
What?
I'm just excited that they had a dev blog that like I wasn't instantly angry about everything.
Yeah, that was really nice. Like,
I was just like, oh, finally the mining jumping, fantastic. Oh, look, they've got they're making the cargo boxes bigger for more convenient jet can mining. That's a really nice quality of life change. I like that.
yeah.
Oh, they're adjusting the resist profiles because they fucked capitals 2.5 years ago. I'm glad they're looking at adjusting that to make them better. Like, just like a lot of stuff that I was like, good. I don't know what to do with that. But I do like the compression idea, and I think it's ridiculous that some people are freaking out about like it doesn't make sense that any ship can you do it, blah blah. I'm like, bitch, you have a stripper bar on half these ships, and that don't make no fucking sense.
Well, I understand that you are pleased with these changes. However, I would, like to encourage actual discussion of opposing viewpoints. So, Compression will be instant and lossless. And how do you feel about that, Caleb?
I love it.
I think it's a great idea, and I think CCP should just continue down this path, because the faster I can get everyone to quit the game and come play something else with me, that would be great.
Shut up, Caleb. There's nothing wrong with this. Just because it doesn't make everybody's life horrible doesn't mean it's not a good change. Also, gas has loss on the way out, so they did add some.
Yes, but we cannot call that compression loss. We cannot. It only happens when you decompress, and
It's you know how when you open up a bottle of soda and it goes
no,
that's what it is.
No, that is not the way to look at it, Dawn.
By the way, Canada Dry Ginger Ale has the most carbonation. It's awesome.
These are ship farts, and we need the art team on that.
Ship farts. Ship farts. Oh, yeah.
Ship farts.
Ship.
I think next we should have instant building, just like in other games.
Yes. Fuck waiting forever. It's stupid. Just give me my stuff now.
See, Screaming PC gets it. They call that gas loss smell. So
I'm now you know how I accelerate into Christmas mode, which, by the way, just to share with all of you, yes, we still have all our Christmas trees up in the house. It's just the way it is. There's snow outside. It's just happens.
I have not taken down a single one of the Christmas decorations I did not put up this year.
There you go. Yeah, but we did schedule our new windows, so I have to get I eventually have to get the lights off the roof, which are not turned on. Don't worry about that. But it was 54 degrees last Friday. That was the high in the morning here, and then low was 26. So, we've been cold all weekend, but it's going to be 59 as a high on Monday. I'm ready for golf, guys. I'm ready. Let's go. Yeah, nobody cares, do they?
Golf. We were being quiet.
Well, we were going to have a whole segment on the new Saudi league, right? And all the commotion.
No. It's golf. We were being quiet.
Oh, okay. I love the one in Arizona where the 16th hole, it's like insanity. It's yelling and screaming and all kinds of crap going on. I love that. It's like Happy Gilmore golf. I'm okay with noise during golf. I hate the asshole that decides to honk the horn though right in your backswing. That guy bothers me. Caddyshack 2 sucked. Okay, Caddyshack 2 sucked. Let me be clear. Caddyshack 2 sucked.
Yeah, but look on the bright side. It didn't have Adam Sandler.
A new version of Caddyshack with Adam Sandler would be good. That dude is brilliant. I mean, he's got a whole production company. Once he did Happy Gilmore, right after that, he did his whole production company. He produces all kinds of shit on Netflix like you wouldn't believe, like movies his company produces, and he puts his wife in all of them. And it's the same cast of characters.
He produces shit, yes.
I must say I have enjoyed most of his production company stuff. So, by the way, can you believe there were 11 seasons of Beirut? Watch. Can you believe that shit? 11.
Yes.
11.
Yes.
11 seasons.
I can believe that.
We're currently halfway through season 9 in our binge watching.
Are you planning to watch Pam and Tommy?
No, I don't think so. That's a porn, isn't it? Porn flick? Or no?
No.
Hey, oh yeah, there was one Pam and Tommy. That was a porn flick. Oh, this is the new. No, I don't care. Yeah, that was a freakish thing, right? He has a house remodeler that breaks back into his house after he kicks him out and steals a safe because he thinks it's filled with money, and pretty much all that's in it is a porn tape of Tommy and Pam, and he releases it. Oh, Miami Vice, that would be good. Screen PC. Yeah, we might have to do Miami Vice. Then we'll all start, dressing in Miami Vice clothes.
I think in the name of remakes and all that stuff, there's a few obvious ones. I think Arendas will partially agree that should be considered. I wouldn't mind something like Airwolves or Blue Thunder or the whole Automan series. There's many of those very 80s things that technologically they are actually possible now. So maybe they should consider those.
You want the gymnastics, yoga, stretching scene from Blue Thunder. That's all you want, Caleb.
No. I want
Let's turn the helicopter in silent mode and watch a naked chick. Yeah.
Look, I think the biggest problem with Blue Thunder was there was no shark.
Really? I like the Jaffa.
It Jaffa was great, but no, it was a Schneider movie. Roy Scheider's in there. You need.
I love Roy Scheider. Yeah, that's true. I was a Roy Scheider fan.
Well, I would at least try to watch if they did a Comanche-based helicopter movie. I would definitely watch.
Eric, can you just imagine the discussions that they had to have to get him onto Sequest DSV, which was produced by Spielberg? Remember? Stephen, we said no sharks. That was in there somewhere.
Honestly, that was the weirdest TV show. It was actually kind of good, but
I gotta get some of
it. It was like literally Star Trek underwater. It's like, oh, what?
Yes. And yeah, they are. Bakula has said he's on board for the Quantum Leap reboot. So, God only knows how that's going to work.
What have I missed out on?
Not much.
Good.
I clicked the wrong button, guys. There we go. By the way, I'm sitting here off camera getting someone going, no sharks. Just laughing.
No shark.
So I got a thing in the mail. So I'm going to see if I can get it out. We're going to see if this...
Was it a shark?
No, there are no sharks. Well, there's somebody who mentioned sharks or cats or something. I don't know. But I'm gonna get it out here. We'll see.
I would like to say that
we'll see how the camera does this.
Involved.
Hold on, let's see. Does it? It looks like it might. Oh, what do we think this is?
I think you should be fair to the sharks. They are not as murderous as cats.
Nibbled to death by cats.
You kind of see it. You're getting too close to the camera.
Yeah. No, it's the auto
and it's
camera.
Fading.
I'm gonna just turn something off for a minute. Let me see. Let me get in here. We'll change some of. It's a very interesting picture. Let's see. Where is VCAM? All right, let's go. So just deal with my messy office. All right. Here we go. That is the Babylon 5 cast flipping the photographer, the bird. When they were on that's what I bought the other week when I said I bought something a little bit ridiculous. And really the big selling factor was the fact that it's hard to get Bruce Boxleitner's signature and Bill Mooney's signature for me. So I got all of them. I love Londo in the middle giving the double bird. That's awesome. The story behind that is they were tired and it was really their day off and they made them come in and take pictures when they were on the sci-fi edition of TV Guide. And the photographer was just a pain in the ass, and so they all kind of sporadically just gave him the bird together. So there we go. Set that over there. So yes, that's what I purchased. I want to share that with you guys. So I'm a big B5 fan. Jakar, definitely. I love Jakar and Londo's relationship, how it evolved over time. So yeah, I think I have Jakar's signature.
So, Grandian, the good news is that yes, there's a B5 reboot in the works and Straczynski is involved. The bad news is it's the CW.
There's more bad news.
Is it really the CW?
Apparently it's on hold now.
Really?
Is it? Damn.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was the CW.
Is that bad news if it's on the CW?
I mean,
yeah.
They apparently
No, I mean, is the being on hold bad news?
if it's CW, I mean,
after the acquisition, they didn't like the one episode that they made, so they put it on hold.
Oh, yeah.
I
Disney
can't-
Plus will screw up Firefly.
that worries me because I don't see how Firefly can be rebooted on Disney Plus.
Well,
Like, I know Disney's working on a second streaming service for like all of their old Touchstone stuff that's R-rated and Deadpool and everything else that they've got that's R-rated and doesn't fit on Disney Plus, and I could see Firefly there, but I can't see it on Disney Plus.
I don't know. Given the comments mentioned about, oh god, what's the Marvel thing coming up? Moon Knight. It sounds like they're just not caring now and just going to put the R stuff on there.
Here's a question.
That's exactly what they're doing because they're moving all the Daredevil stuff over there too.
How do we?
That too.
How do we all feel about the new Lord of the Rings thing?
No,
on Amazon. I'm in the thumbs
I don't
down.
know.
Guardedly optimistic.
Yeah, no, it's a dark, evil time, and they're gonna make it happy, joyful. Fuck them. It's gonna be terrible.
Yeah, and they are way too occupied of making it, politically correct and having everyone represented instead of, telling a good story.
Just pick.
I don't really think that's the main problem. The main problem to me is it doesn't look like it's going to be as high quality as what we've been accustomed to. So I think it's going to feel 90s like in style and writing.
And in quality.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I mean, I wish
Like
for
less
success.
less Peter Jackson filming in New England and more Xena filming in New England.
Exactly. Pretty much like that. Yeah. Exactly like I feel about all the DC stuff from the Arrowverse. It's like, this could have been so good, but this is so fucking amateur hour.
You mean more like the animated Lord of the Rings movie?
You see, my only problem...
I actually didn't mind the Bakshi rotoscoped Lord of the Rings animated thing, like the animated which is basically Fellowship. Like the animated version of Fellowship, that was actually really good, and I thought they used the rotoscoping really well.
He did some things better than
when they use the rotoscoping for wearing the ring and how everything looks then, that shit was terrifying.
They did some really good stuff in that one. It was very intimidating. If you think about how old it was actually not bad.
Yeah, like that's like 78 or so. I mean, that's a lot of those techniques they came up with for that. So, I really can't hate on it too much.
And if I'm not mistaken, right, if you go back and look at it now, I will bet you money that Jackson was massively inspired.
Oh yeah.
And almost did a one-to-one scene stuff with many of these things.
There's definitely parts of it that you can see the influence, like the scene of the ring wraiths.
Exactly, that's like one-to-one.
That is a ripped right out of the Bakshi version. The one thing that I think we can all agree on, though, John Hurt as Aragorn, that did not work.
I also like the I think it was more true with the whole Saruman and Gandalf and Orthanc, all that storyline. They kind of did a little bit more than I felt like Jackson did.
Yeah, he did gloss over that a little bit.
Look, my only real concern is this really what we lost the Expanse to get? Like,
Hold on. Wait. We lost The Expanse?
The Expanse isn't doing any more seasons. They got cancelled.
They aren't doing any more seasons for now.
For now. But the current rumour coming out of the company is we lost it just so they could fund, well, just so Amazon could fund The Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, okay. So, first off, let's keep in mind that that's kind of bullshit. I mean, if he really wanted to, Jeff Bezos could fund both projects
absolutely
1,000 times over.
Let's revisit this. Jeff Bezos is not in charge of the company anymore. We all know that, right?
Jeff Bezos can still throw money at the company, and we all know that.
The decision was also taken at the time when he was in charge.
Jassy is a very different CEO. He comes from the AWS side, so he is used to low investment, high profit margins. Right?
He could fund the show himself.
Yeah,
he could.
Let's not try to avoid the fact that, like, literally Amazon has pockets that do not end when it comes to how much money do we really need to print today.
Well, and that comes from AWS, right? It doesn't really come from selling online. There's not a lot of profit margin there. But yes. So, Amazon derives its money in three ways, right? Number one, it gets some of its money from the online retail sales, right? It takes 20% of each sale, somewhere around there in general, right? Mm-hmm. And it also, if you're a big company or a medium-sized company and you're really selling well on Amazon, guess what's in your contract? We get to buy 20% of your company. And the other one is from AWS, which is the vast majority of their money. I mean, their operating budget all comes from AWS. I mean, if I can't believe people don't negotiate lower contracts with AWS because of the profit margin is so gigunda. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Either way, the point remains that the idea of, oh, they canceled this project to fund that one. Yeah. If they canceled a project, it's because they didn't believe in the project. They could have funded both, and they wouldn't have blinked an eye.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they could have.
Yeah, like the internal shit show. I don't know, but what's been said externally is, oh yeah, they wanted to focus on Lord of the Rings, and they didn't.
They are getting so much negative from what they're saying on Lord of the Rings, right?
That's the thing. If this had released fine, I don't think they'd have got the pushback from the Expanse crowd either. It would have been like, yeah, whatever, okay. Yeah, we've had a good run, we'll come back to it. Yeah. But we had a good run, you cancelled a new season, and this is what you put out in its place?
Well, I want conclusion. I need conclusion in my Expanse things. I'm not reading the stupid books because they're just too big and too crazy. And by the way, what are they? Sci-fi? I mean,
seriously, it feels to me like it's just dumb money. They are chasing this next big thing and the big profit maker. And in the wake of Game of Thrones, I think they thought, oh, we can just do the Lord of the Rings. Everyone will love it. It's like, no, everyone loved what Jackson did because it was genius and it was ahead of its time. Everyone was really scared about him doing it because it's this IP that is kind of holy and you don't want to touch it if you don't do it justice.
And let's keep in mind that people weren't exactly thrilled with what Jackson did with The Hobbit.
And there was even
but to be honest, that's a whole big issue about the studio coming in and kind of fucking things up, very similar to what happened with the DCEU.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem. They don't want to take the chance and actually dive deep into a new IP. So what they do is they stay with something that feels safe. There's so many things out there that could go on the silver screen, TV or series as well. But it's just they don't feel. It feels to me like it's just coward money, and they would rather have a small return than risk actually throwing something in a big hole. And this is back to the whole thing that things need to be profitable. And I think from what I could tell, The Expanse was actually not really gaining the numbers anymore.
It was gaining the numbers, but in comparison to something like Lord of the Rings, right? You know where your viewership is.
I think
it's the
Lord of the
classic
Rings is
Eve
gonna fall
versus MMO. It's the Eve versus WoW kind of argument, right? One is a niche sci-fi franchise, the other's a fantasy franchise.
And I would just like to say to any producers out there, if you want to take a big risk, do Dragonlance or do Wendy Peeney's Elf Quest. I would love to watch that adapted today. That would work.
In terms of like visual media, though, like to say one's a niche sci-fi thing, the other is fantasy. In terms of like movies and TV, sci-fi has been so much more mainstream and wide audience than fantasy is. Like you can't argue that the sci-fi thing is the niche thing that got pushed out by fantasy, because fantasy is just like.
But that's how it keeps getting phrased whenever people talk about it, right? Because it's the niche area of sci-fi, right? It's not your Babylon 5, Battlestar Galactica.
Well, but each
Star
of those,
Trek, Star Wars.
But Babylon 5 and the BSG reboot, those were also niche projects before people went, "Oh my god, this is great," and it blew up.
And that's the thing that I was going to get at, right around this. People seem to have it in their head that, it's just a niche franchise, so it's never really going to do great, and they never invest in it. You saw it with sci-fi when they first cancelled The Expanse. It's a niche show. We're not making all the money we want out of it because we fucked up in obtaining the rights.
Well, that's right. That's just because sci-fi fucks up everything.
Hold on. And then, they've looked at it, cancelled it because it's niche. Instead of doubling down on it and going, well, let's not make it the niche. Let's make it mainstream.
Okay, but The Expanse is 62 episodes in. Whatever The Expanse is going to be, it already is by now.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's true.
So they're not, and yeah, sure. Remember Firefly, but Firefly was canceled before 5 episodes aired.
Yeah. And by the way, moved around to Horrible Time. The whole background on that is hilarious.
Moved to a horrible time slot, shown out of order. That Firefly just got done so dirty.
They did.
I mean, just so bad.
I did enjoy the movie.
Sci-fi issue.
I enjoyed it all.
The channel.
Sci-fi does a terrible job of everything, but I mean, they were on major networks with Firefly, and they did.
Yeah, that was Fox.
That was just ridiculous, right? Babylon 5 never got good funding for its its graphics and things like that. It just never did. I enjoyed the acting in that, but I'm not big on what I'm hearing in relation to the new Rings of Power. Right? It's a story that could be amazing. It's a story that could be interesting, but it's not going to be lighthearted and happy, because it's not a lighthearted and happy time. Okay, if you read the Silmarillion, right, it's dark, and
because it takes place in any of Tolkien's periods.
So I'm gonna say something slightly controversial. There's some of these new documentaries that are coming out where it's based on history, and then there's long segments of acting with pretty decent actors actually doing it, right? So I think I would like something in that kind of genre instead, where it's taking you through the Tolkien universe almost academically, and then with these scenes of movie-like adaptations, but not do the whole thing, because I think doing the whole thing with these stories is just too risky, because it's not really written like that. The format is not written like a proper narrative. So I think it's a mistake to try and do that, because you're basically trying to manuscript write over something that is almost poetic epos-like source material. That's just not. I don't think it's going to work. I think it's going to feel cringy. And this whole thing of inventing new characters, I think we had enough of that with both The Hobbit and the Rings. It's like I'm not against all of it. I kind of like most of what it ended up with, but it went a little bit silly at times. And I think this is going to potentially be a horror show.
What new characters were invented for the movies, like The Hobbit?
Well, for The Hobbit, Tariel was invented.
Yeah, okay, but she's kind of cute. Okay,
and she was actually fine, except for the part where they shoehorn in the love triangle with one of the dwarves.
Keely.
That was just silly.
Yeah, that was a little bit silly. She could have just had respect for the dwarves, and it would have been awesome.
Right. I mean, it would have been fine. But as far as the idea of them having to screenwrite all of this stuff, honestly, Caleb, I think that's probably the better option than trying to take something like, say, The Children of Hurin, where the coherent narrative has actually been worked out and you've got this, and then trying to adapt that into a script. I think they just need to get good writers for it, and then it could be fine. As far as inventing new characters whole cloth, sure, for the subject matter we're talking about, you've got maybe half a dozen established characters, none of whom are in the entirety of the story. So unless you want to basically have it be a 3-man stage production, God, yes, invent new characters. Just make sure they make sense.
Yes. Make characters, combine characters, whatever where needed, just do it right.
I think my problem is that everything that I've seen when it comes to series and adaptations of these things, where there's not a lot of source material when it comes to actually scenes and dialogue and stuff like that. When it's these almost Ghost Rider-like types, it just comes out so weak. And again, I have to mention some of the stuff that will make it controversial, but dialogue in The Mandalorian, dialogue in Boba Fett, it's just a joke. And the narrative arcs are hilariously weak. It's like, it's really fast food like stuff. And if that's what we're going to get from these Lord of the Rings writers, it's just not going to work for me. That's really what I'm afraid of. If it's not really good writers, it's going to be a horror show.
It's going to be a horror show, I'm just going to tell you.
That's basically true of everything these days, Caleb. I mean, and not even just these days. Either you get good writers or you get bad writers, and the writing is the foundation for everything else.
It just feels like they think that they can just slap some digital art stuff on screen and some special effects and some lights and lasers or spells and shit, and then everyone will be happy. And yeah, maybe if you're 12.
I mean, we saw how well that didn't work for The Hobbit.
Yeah. And to answer Brisk or respond to his comment, that's because, Caleb is really like Max Headroom. He's not real. We just generated him.
It's true.
Yeah, true story.
Yeah, I'm a horrible scan of a Kevin Smith character.
There you go.
River needs to reboot the server over there.
Yeah. So we're gonna see how. I agree with Caleb. And I hate when they do the Xena like adaptations. Right? It's like I think you said, right, when they did Sword of Truth, it was terrible because they didn't have the money or the writers or whatever the fuck. That could have been an amazing series if redone properly, right? I think Dragonlance. I would pay to watch those series if they really did a good job with them. Like the Witcher series, I think that's excellent. Okay, and that proves.
Don't be heard saying that.
What?
Don't be heard saying that.
Everybody,
the book fans might skewer you.
Well, see, I haven't read the books. I'm
It's
a
a running
time
joke
in my
era.
life where I would love to sit down and read a book, but I just don't have time to do it anymore. So
I think the weakness is that it's pretty much similar to any of the Grimm stories that have ever been adapted to American audience. They really get rid of all the darkness and all the juices and all the really exciting stuff. And they've done something slightly similar with The Witcher. They kind of avoid the deep dive and where the focus is of what the moral of the stories actually is supposed to be.
Caleb, don't say about them cutting stuff out from the books, because I'm sure you know what's in the books. Hold on, I'm sure you know what's in the books. Half of that shit would get them rated to be banned from TV.
Yeah,
well,
I get that. But yeah, I mean, I would love to see Dragonlance done. I mean, in a good way. Not a shitty way, like a Lord of the Rings original movie way, right? I think that would be amazing. I'd love to see Sword of Truth done that way too. I think there's so many places they could go, and I think both of those would have been probably a better thing than doing the Rings of Power. It just doesn't. I don't know.
Especially because you can also get a hold of the actual writers, which is a big help.
Yeah, that's true. What's the I do think the Wheel of Time has been done very well. I mean, I didn't read the books there either. I've enjoyed the shows. So, yes,
I gotta disagree there.
You don't like it?
I think that the Wheel of Time series is very much not impressive. I think that the series doesn't impress me, and at the same time, what does impress me about it is that they managed to make an almost watchable series out of an absolutely excruciatingly bad set of books.
See, I never read the books, right? So,
and Arya, I don't think the point was the adaptation issue. It's more where the focus is from the director, right? Because the content is kind of all there in The Witcher. It's just not being presented and directed in a way where focus is put on the actual intent of the stories.
Yeah, I think we could be good on all this.
So Sky, the biggest thing to keep in mind with the writing it for a family audience thing is what they mean when they say that is you're not going to see Galadriel's tits. That's what they mean.
I have a question.
Because it's going to be on a streaming service, so people have been talking about, before any of the details came out, people were talking about, oh yeah, now we're going to get fucking, Lord of the Rings done like Game of Thrones. Sex scenes every goddamn episode.
Right. And that's kind of
so we're not
the thing with The Witcher.
We're not going to get to see Galadriel's breastises?
No.
I'm sad now.
That's also kind of the thing in The Witcher, right?
No, she's
the
not.
Games, the games show it differently, but if you've read the books, holy fuck, is it dark?
Yeah,
I don't find it dark at all, really. It's maybe depressing and some despair, but I wouldn't call it dark. And I okay, don't get me wrong, he kind of invented new fantasy, and I am forever grateful for that. But Tolkien's writing is both horrendously long-winded, and he writes like a fucking incel. It is horrible.
I'm on about the Witcher books, not the.
Sorry, but the Witcher is really dark, but that's actually there, right? The whole story with the dragon egg and all that, it's just the focus is just not shifted in the right direction. It's the same with the whole rapist thing, but it's not shifted in the right direction. And the whole abortion theme, they have all these horribly dark themes, and they are in the series. It's just not front and center. It feels like the director and the script is trying to avoid the actual topic.
Yeah, because what's written in those books is fucking horrifying.
Yeah,
and it would never be allowed on TV. Like, people are saying stuff like, "Oh yeah, it's just modern culture." No, this wouldn't have been allowed on 1950s TV. It's that bad.
But the point is that you can actually excuse it because there's no horrible visuals or anything like that. That's just normal fantasy stuff. But correct me if I'm wrong. The story from the first season, where it's both incest and an abortion narrative, right?
You guys are destroying these shows for me. Terrible people.
They're all horrible, but also they're all slightly attempting to redeem themselves and sort of succeeds.
Yes and no. One of the things that happens, and I'm trying not to explicitly say it because Twitch probably wouldn't accept it even being said. The book goes into very clear detail of what happens to Ciri.
Right, it doesn't have to be graphic, right? The point is,
the book is graphic, and I'm there like, the writers clearly don't even want to touch that with a 10-foot pole.
Well, let me just say that
That's a shorter pole than in the Grinch.
And Rise has been adapted to TV and movies, and Clive Barker has been adapted, and I can tell you, they are not giving you the details from the books.
It's okay, they don't have to.
Yeah, but let's face it, like, the Anne Rice adaptations, you've got one decent one, and that's decent entirely based on the fact that your 4 characters with the most screen time are Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise, fucking Kirsten Dunst,
and it's about
Antonio Banderas.
It's so horribly adapted and rewritten because of the actual source material that it's funny that all the critics out there aren't up in arms about that. But because it ends up being a really good movie, everyone is happy about it. It's the same with the Constantine movie. Even though it's completely silly to have Keanu in that role, it makes no sense based on the source material. But it's a good movie.
Hey,
right.
Keanu's a good person, and you should not slight him like that.
He is.
Yeah, but he's really bad at acting in the sense of he's supposed to be a crazy blonde trench coat wearing Brit fag. It's like, that's just not what you see on the screen.
Look, Keanu is like Jack Nicholson. He gets hired to be him.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's who cares what the character's supposed to be? The character's just changed.
It's not about, you can't say who cares. People that actually like the source material cares a lot about actually portraying the character the right way. Which he was in the TV series that sadly didn't get any more seasons. It got 1. It was actually a really good one. The stories written in there were very good from a procedural series TV perspective, and it was very much Constantine.
You know, you're just not writing. You're not watching the right shows. Okay, I'm going to take you to Demons and Angels. Now that's a fun series, and they're going into season 2 or 3, I think. You guys watch that Demons and Angels or Angels and Demons?
I'll give it to Caleb. I'll give it to Caleb on Constantine. Matt Ryan did a really good job in the Constantine series, and that's why he continued to play Constantine in all of the DC animated stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And when DC brought Constantine back for Legends of Tomorrow, they still went with Matt Ryan and just had that be an unofficial continuation of the Constantine series.
Yeah.
Oh, and I really like a lot of things. I'm not always critical.
And frankly, since I do know Caleb's seen it, all right, as much as he bitches about everything else, I happen to know that Caleb loves the absolute schlock that is Legends of Tomorrow.
Oh my god,
it's campy and it's amazing.
It blew my mind when Constantine came on in I can't remember the exact season, but it starts the season with the story of the heart-eating unicorn and Woodstock, and everyone is stoned out of their skull. It is the funniest thing that I have ever seen on TV.
Okay.
Hands down.
Unicorns are allowed to eat hearts. They're pure.
Oh, but it is so funny, and
It's so wrong.
it's
Wrong.
so over the top crazy
Yeah.
that it feels like it must be crazy Brits
Sure.
Python-esque writers doing this. It's
I mean,
so
that's the
good,
thing, right?
but it's
Like-
still low budget. These people need to be the ones involved in reworking Doctor Who. It would be glorious.
Right, like, yes, this Legends of Tomorrow tried taking itself seriously at first, and then someone somewhere in the writing went, you know what, let's just embrace the cheesiness and stupidity here and fucking run with it.
Exactly what event behind the scenes changed the tone of the show.
Go on.
80 Lots became one of the executive producers.
Oh, fuck, of course it did. Yeah, okay.
But because that show, right, and I think it's mostly that season has two of my favorite TV episodes ever. It's the one with the unicorn, and then the one where they're doing punk Brit punk.
It's the next episode.
It's so good.
The best TV show episode was Stargate, when they are all trying to come up with movie ideas.
Is that the one with the quote with "It took us 7 years to MacGyver this thing"?
That's the pilot episode.
Is it?
Yep.
I thought it was later.
That's the pilot episode. That's the 2-part episode that was produced as one pilot for Showtime.
I loved his artistic pause and him just looking at the camera and then just over.
You know, you truly have achieved the top position in TV series when 30 or 40 years after your last episode, people still say they MacGyvered that. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but like,
you know, and they did it with a toothpick, a diamond bracelet, and a paperclip.
The great part of this reference, though, Eric, because I don't know if you saw the SG-1 pilot ever.
No, I never did. I never got into SG.
Is the character making the comment of it took us 7 years and 3 supercomputers to MacGyver this, right?
Yeah.
Is saying this to Richard Dean Anderson. Like, his response is just this kind of moment of really
looking at the camera.
Yeah.
And then, did you all get it? Did you all get it?
Please tell me that was ad-libbed.
The line was not ad-libbed. His response, I'm reasonably sure they didn't tell him that was coming.
Oh, okay, yeah. Just as good then.
It's the same thing that. Don't get me wrong. I've been very happy with almost everything that Feige has done. But there's one thing that he forgot to do, and I agree with the internet on this. When it comes to Benedict and Downey Jr., there should have been a scene where they did the Sherlock reference. It had to be there. No, that was just.
Do you concur, Doctor?
Yeah, okay, but he is a doctor, so it's not the same thing.
It's a subtle thing, but it's there.
Yeah, they made it not too obvious.
Make it not too obvious, but that was what that was. That is what that line was about. Now, what I'm waiting to see.
Is this what I think it is?
What I'm waiting to see from a Feige product in the Marvel universe is I'm waiting to see Doctor Strange come face to face with Martin Freeman's CIA agent.
Yes, okay, exactly what I was going to say. And then we can get the next iteration of that.
And just some comment from Martin Freeman of, I thought you'd be bigger. It's something like that.
Either that or him investigating something and you just get excellent work, Watson. Just as an off-the-cuff piss take.
Something along those lines. But Caleb, I do have to ask you, since we're on to stupid superhero TV, have you seen Peacemaker?
No, because I was waiting until it was complete so I could marathon it. So I know it's complete now, but I was waiting.
Go watch it.
Is it as funny as The Boys?
Oh. I don't know if I'd say it's as funny as The Boys. It's funny in different ways than The Boys and darker and more absurd.
Darker?
This is some dark shit.
Okay, that sounds scary. Maybe I need to watch it in daytime.
Very much a different flavor of dark but funny. But yeah, this is another superhero black comedy thing.
I am very, very happy that we're getting Xavier back. That really did make my day. Didn't it make yours as well, Renders? Patrick
What?
Stewart coming back.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is the perfect way to launch the mutant narratives. It's going to be great.
We'll see.
That's if that's what they're actually going to go for. But yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. Like I could have also taken James McAvoy in that role.
I have something. I have something for you, Jack.
There is a rumor.
Oh dear.
I have an important one for you, Renders. I was just watching Django and Django, that documentary thing about Tarantino and his love of Italian westerns, and it got me thinking: shouldn't we get Tarantino to direct an MCU movie?
No, I think we get Tarantino.
Who would be right for it?
Tin Cup 2.
Well, I think something like if they did some sort of Deadpool crossover, like Deadpool Wolverine or Deadpool Spider-Man, I think it would actually be great if Tarantino did something like that. It needs to be slightly dark, not Old Man Logan, but kind of like that.
I don't trust Tarantino with other people's characters.
But he's a comic book nerd as well. He respects the fucking material.
I don't know that he's earned the trust with other people's work.
He's great with his own characters.
Yeah.
But
all of his characters sound like Quentin Tarantino. Like
that said, I guess you could do a Deadpool holiday special and have him direct.
I was just sad that I think the obvious one for him to direct would have been the whole Wolverine in Japan narrative. That story would have been perfect for Tarantino, because if you read the actual source material for that, it reads like a Western. It reads like it's fitted for something like Tarantino. It's like Kurosawa all over again.
Like a Western in space.
Fuck that one up.
Like a Western in space?
Sort of, yeah.
Okay.
I would like to see Quentin Tarantino's take on Star Trek, which is something he's been trying to push to do, before I see him tackle anything else, because he has been pushing to do something for Star Trek for a while.
I'm pretty sure he couldn't make Star Trek worse.
Well, having just watched the whole Boba Fett thing, right? So I was thinking, if Tarantino had made that one, at least the dialogue would have been good, and then the whole thing might have actually ended up being good.
I enjoyed Boba Fett.
I didn't watch it yet.
Yeah, I haven't finished it yet.
Yeah, it's decent.
I didn't hate it. I liked it. I'm out of time.
I mean, there's some stuff where you can see that where you can see that there's things they haven't figured out yet, like speeders in an urban setting. The effects there aren't great. But all of the work they've done with speeders before that, with the ground effect stuff, has been like open field, lots of CGI. So having to do it practical, or having to do it over a practical set, I can see that being a totally different challenge. And yes, pseudocoder, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Star Trek does need an actual good sci-fi writer and director.
Or if they just use the source material, there is actual good books for the Star Wars universe. Making them into scripts is not rocket science.
I love how everyone got turbo mad about the JJ movies, and now all the Trek fans are like, well, actually, they weren't that bad.
I will tell you that
they were that bad.
No,
they were bad, but if you've seen recent content from the streaming services, right?
I'm going to argue, and I judge all Star Trek movies on Star Trek 1, which I saw first release in the movie theater, which probably none of you have.
I did.
What, the movie?
Okay, yeah, the movie. It was the slowest motherfucker of all time,
Sure.
and I never disliked the J.J. Abrams new version of them, but I know lots of people did. But I actually enjoyed Chris Pine as Kirk.
The casting was good.
I liked the cast. I
Yeah.
liked the cast. I enjoyed Chris Pine. Zachary Quinto did a great job. Fucking Carl Urban. Like, they might as well have just fucking resurrected DeForest Kelly. He was
he was good.
that perfect.
Yeah. And then Scotty.
I think that Chekhov was a little over the top.
It was a little over the top.
But that's what they were going for there.
Mm-hmm.
Not in the casting, but in the level of comic relief, it was too much. I completely agree. But the casting was really good. I was going, that looks Scotty. Like what I would expect.
I love Scotty.
I would say
Simon Pegg did a great job as Scotty, yeah.
I would say the Into Darkness had a lot of issues in the last third.
I just enjoyed
Into Darkness had a lot of issues in, we're going to be almost shot for shot Wrath of Khan, but backwards.
Mm-hmm.
No, not Into Darkness. The other one, the third one.
Beyond? Okay. Beyond has some great elements to it, but Beyond makes one really, really stupid mistake right from the get-go that there's no recovery from.
That is?
Your main bad guy is Idris Elba, and you never let him be Idris Elba.
Okay.
Like, he's got all of maybe 45 seconds on screen with his own face. What the fuck are you people doing?
Which is
that's the same with Into Darkness with Benedict Cumberbatch, right?
No, he does get some screen time, and he does have some great moments in that movie.
Yeah, he does. Right? I agree.
But the third movie is like it's like they don't really establish the antagonist, right? That's why the third, the last third is just falling apart.
Yeah, and like honestly, the biggest problem I have with Cumberbatch in Into Darkness is that they made him Khan for no reason. He did not need to be Khan. There was nothing in there that needed that to be Khan. They could have just left him as Benjamin Harrison. It would have all been fine. And as soon as they make him Khan, they have him try to out-scenery chew Ricardo Montalban, which is not going to happen.
You can't out Ricardo Montalban.
Just that my name is Khan, which has no fucking relevance to either of these two people that he's saying this to. No.
I might be crazy, but if I were to choose who Benedict should have been in the Star Trek universe, I'd actually have cast him as Noonian.
I'd made him Q.
The thing is, though, as much as people hated that at the time, if you now see it in the light of all the bullshit Discovery has pulled out of their heads, it's fine. Honestly, it's fine.
No. In light of all of the bullshit Discovery has pulled out of their asses, in light of all of the bullshit that has happened in all of fucking Star Trek Discovery, I am still going to say J.J. Abrams should never be allowed to touch a project that takes place in space. Ever.
I mean, I don't disagree with that, but at the same time, Soph is kind of right. Like, don't let him do anything more. But at least what we got there wasn't Discovery.
No, it made less sense.
All Star Trek spin-offs since Deep Space Nine.
Come on, Arendelle.
Okay, look.
All Star Trek spin-offs since Deep Space Nine are terrible. Okay,
I will contest you on that, Eric. There is one
collapsing into a black hole. Okay, which is apparently close enough to another planet that it's 3 times the size of the moon in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, the Enterprise, which has been traveling at warp for a good, 2 minutes by this point, faster than the speed of light, just happens to drop Kirk on the same planet when they kick an escape pod out without breaking warp. What the fuck?
Well, yeah,
Then you haven't seen the new series of Discovery.
I
then, or
have,
this.
and it still makes more sense than this bullshit.
I think what frustrates me about the whole Star Trek content lately is that it's completely moving away from the core of what the series were trying to do with the different races, with the conflicts, with the cultural differences. All that narrative stuff is just gone. It's all big action scene bullshit and hardly any focus on the actual cosmology and the universe that they're supposed to inhabit.
I disagree there. That's not like the action is not the worst. It is the fucking all the drama within the crew, right? Discovery has it, Picard has it. Like these are supposed to be,
A good thing. It's a good thing DS9 never had any actual like interpersonal conflict among the main cast.
Yes, but in DS9 it made sense, right?
But it's
on
not
the
that
Enterprise or on the Discovery, which are supposed to be, warships, right? Which is supposed to be a crew that has known each other for years. It doesn't make sense.
But it's the point of the front premise is what is missing, right? Because the interpersonal stuff is always what you're supposed to write that keeps procedurals working, but they don't seem to have anything in front of them. This is like every medical show out there is about the cases. That's the story on the script. And then the interpersonal stuff is the arc that runs through the entire thing. It's the same in all the Star Trek series. It's the same in pretty much any well-written series that the interpersonal stuff and the relationship stuff is in the background, because otherwise it gets really boring very fast, right?
That is not true. If
I gotta
Scrubs.
take off. I will catch you guys later.
All right, Scrubs,
See you, Randa.
best
Hello.
medical drama of all time. Okay,
Well,
Scrubs.
I'm just gonna say, Eric, I disagree with you on that every single one since whichever it was has
They all
been
suck.
bad.
They all suck.
There is one, because it doesn't take itself seriously. Lower Decks.
The fuck is that?
Lower
It's
Decks
the
is
Star
there.
Trek
Amazing.
animated
Is it
series.
lower
Anyway.
decks
Yes.
or below deck?
It's lower decks.
Lower Decks.
Because
Also,
below
I am
deck
just
is
going to-
also weird.
I am just going to depart with a comment on Eric's point that I'm going to drop in staff only, and I hope he puts on the stream.
All right, let me see what you got there.
So how's everyone doing today?
Oh, that's amazing. I don't know if we're gonna share the link, because it is a great Scrubs moment. I'm not gonna play it though, because we might get in trouble for playing it. But enjoy that link, because it is amazeballs. I am a Scrubs fan. I think it's hilarious, especially the interpersonal relationship with the janitor, Dr. Cox, Dr. Cox's wife, everybody.
Well, it's what drives almost all medical shows. But the point is that when you're writing the episodes, your focus should be on the premise of the show, which
Have you
is
ever
writing
watched
a story
Scrubs?
that's medical.
Have you ever watched Scrubs?
No, it's one of the few that I haven't actually watched.
Oh yeah. You'll understand why that is completely irrelevant, what you just said. All right, the Orville.
Oh,
No,
boy.
I can't watch the Orville. I don't know why. You only have so much time, and I'm binge watching Baywatch, and it really takes a lot of time to binge watch 11 seasons. Who can believe we're watching it?
Yeah.
This is freaking 11 seasons. I'm like, holy shit.
The thing is, the Orville is like, it starts out a bit silly because it's Seth MacFarlane, right?
Yeah.
But then halfway through, they realize, wait a second, we're actually like doing better than Discovery, right? Narratively,
Yeah.
ratings-wise. So let's do this seriously. Then the second season, it's the first or second episode, they have another silly moment, but they get over it really fast, and then it gets really good.
I don't know. I can't get into it. Maybe in reruns.
And that's fine.
You know what really sucks to be here? I'm sitting here going, okay, it is 2:32, and this entire show, I have been smelling slow cooking kielbasa and kraut, and it's maddening.
Sauerkraut?
Yes, sauerkraut, because it's amazing.
Never had it.
Seriously, you've never had sauerkraut,
Nope.
dude? Where do you live again?
Mass?
Where?
Mass?
Massachusetts?
Yep.
Yeah, no, yeah. I can see up there how you might not.
What?
You're not Midwest enough, you know.
I was gonna say, my family either cooks really Irish or really Italian. There is no in between.
Irish and Italian. Oh, I bet your Thanksgivings are interesting.
Well, no, my family's completely Irish. It's just we cook Italian. It's very good. I don't know what it's because, but
A lot of potatoes.
not really, actually. Not a whole lot of potatoes. But if you're looking for potatoes, you can contact Darkshine's Potato Farm.
There you go.
So.
Italian, I understand. Irish food, not so much.
Oh, there's some
I mean,
really good.
I mean, seriously, what is there? I mean, share. I mean, it's important to share.
Have you not had like a good Irish breakfast, like with Irish sausage, potato pancakes, stuff like that?
Potato pancakes aren't exactly Irish; they're more German. But
Well, I'm just saying, like I'm just saying the way, like, I just pulled it. Like,
I love my Irish
aunt
potato pancakes. Okay, what?
They're different than the ones I've had than like other styles. That's like they're mashed potatoes rather than just like a normal potato pancake.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
how else would you make them?
you've never seen them made with just shredded potatoes?
It's a combination.
Technically those are latkes. Well, can be called latkes, but
latkes.
Yeah. Sorry, I
Thanks.
I fudged the pronunciation.
Yeah, we might have those occasionally here with the traditional, sour cream and applesauce. That's how I eat those suckers. Fried in olive oil, baby.
Sour cream and applesauce?
Yep.
Yes.
Very Jewish.
Very Jewish. Sounds weird.
Nope. Very Jewish. Very good.
Okay.
Big Hanukkah thing. Passover. All those good times. I might have a Jewish wife, folks. Bacon. What's black pudding? That sounds hideous.
It is.
Yeah, it's I'm trying to think. I literally just watched a cooking video on this.
It's a blood sausage.
Yes, yeah. There we go.
Blood sausage. Yeah, that's not going to happen.
They're really nice.
Mm-hmm. Ding. Thank you.
I mean, you can have them without the blood, which is a German thing. It's called Grützwurst. And you eat it with mashed potatoes and applesauce.
There you go. Mashed potatoes and applesauce? That sounds a little odd.
Yeah, and Grützwurst, which is like
it's like baked beans on toast.
Made of grits, I guess.
Grits, love grits. Grits is like the super flexible food of the South.
Yeah.
I mean, you can make them savory, you can make them sweet, anything. I mean, you do anything with those suckers. So let's give us more Irish food that's not German.
I'm trying to think. I'm also trying not to lose myrmidons right now, so un momento.
Sounds like an excuse.
Now the Italian we can go for days.
Yeah, it's how shepherd's pie, obviously, but supposedly my grandmother refused to cook shepherd's pie for some reason. I don't know the full reason why.
My wife hates it. I love it. Do you make it with the original lamb, or are you going with the ground beef?
I don't cook it, and I'm not a huge fan of it, but supposedly my grandmother used to cook it all the time, but then stopped cooking it at some point, according to all of my aunts. It's just one of those weird things, but then when my dad came along, she started making it again, so...
So we got shepherd's pie.
I'm trying to think what else you would call,
I don't know.
Irish
You eat
food.
it, so you got to tell us.
I'm trying to think right now because I mean I don't eat a lot of it, but I eat some of it. But then my family goes way more Italian, like lasagna, all that shit for fucking Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, I thought like Irish breakfast was like a little bit of watered down Scotch, or
Well,
whiskey.
no,
Scotch whiskey.
that's for the Baileys. You use a bit of Baileys in there.
Bailey's in the whiskey.
Yeah. No, you just do coffee and then you add Baileys to it. That is the sensible thing to do.
I like the Irish car bomb thing, man.
That
Half a Guinness. A shot that's 50-50, Jameson and Guinness. Drop that sucker in and chug it. That's a good drink. That's all I know about Irish food, folks. Yeah, potato with potato. A lot of potatoes.
I was supposed to go to Ireland before COVID hit, but sadly that has not happened.
Yeah, Guinness is lunch, folks, because that's the beer that eats like a meal.
Yeah, Guinness is lunch. Also, they do have a lot of fish because
Fish.
I don't know if you noticed, but there's kind of water all around Ireland.
Yeah, I can't remember which fish it was exactly. I think is it haddock, or am I just fucking stupid?
Cottage pie and shepherd's pie. Yeah, I've seen people do the shepherd's pie, but it's really cottage pie because it's beef. Yeah, I think shepherd's pie has the lamb, but we can look that up. I'm a fan of either.
Lamb, yeah.
I like them both. I'm a big fan. As an Irish person, please stop talking about Irish stuff. You lot are clueless. Well, Lasagna Man, because that's what we call him, Lasagna Man. Okay, I mean, just start telling us, brother. See, this show is about learning about cuisine from other things. See, we weren't actually putting Mike on the spot. We actually really wanted to know.
I see the sad part. So I never actually got to have any of my grandmother's cooking because by the time I was old enough to where I could have had some of the stuff, she was very sick. So never got to have any of that the shit she cooked. But all my family swears by it. So all I found is I found a cookbook that is still in Gaelic that I cannot read because I cannot read Gaelic. So
there you go. You need to get that translated. I bet you we got so many dudes that can translate that stuff. But yeah,
I'm gonna get my cousins to at some point.
Okay, so Man Cheetah says oysters, fish, and lamb in a lot of Irish food. I know lamb, oysters, and fish. That'd be interesting. I'd like to know about. I'm a big oyster fan. Like I eat them. They're good.
See, he called us clueless, but I did say they have a lot of fish dishes.
Well, no, this is Man Cheetah. This is Man Cheetah responding. We're still waiting for Lasagna Guy.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Lasagna Guy hasn't anteed up any offerings.
Well, he's probably clueless as well.
I'm just waiting. I'm here to learn. I love learning about food from other countries. Because
I love eating food from other countries.
I do too. It's, in many cases. I'm not going for that minky whale bullshit that Caleb loves, though, man.
You have no clue. Whale. You are completely clueless. Minky. It is the best meat you can actually get.
It's like the only meat that they have in Iceland, for crying out loud.
I don't care. It is the best meat you have ever had.
Which is not going to be in the best meat list. Okay. I like my Maryland crab cake. Not really. Maryland crab cakes. Yeah, not the shredded ones, man. Don't give me the shredded. I like the lump crab in the crab cakes. Wales Horrid says, Man Trencher, whatever his name is. All you need to get is an Irish Guinness stew. I've had Irish stew. It's okay, when I think of Irish food, it's like, corned beef and cabbage. Like, that's all I got. And I'm not opposed to it. I mean, I think it's good. I like it. Hey, I got a phone call. I got to take it. I'll be right back, guys. Talk amongst yourselves. Learn some about Irish. Hey. Okay. Yeah, you have to do that. I mean, he can look that up himself, by the way, and figure it out. Yeah, I'm not. I won't be able to make it there in time at this point. I'll deal with him next week. Don't let the cat out of the bag. Yeah. I'm no. It's fine. You know, it wasn't hard to figure out with the audit, and then some drivers calling in to complain to confirm what we saw in the audit. So. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, that's no problem. Yeah, just make sure the guy who went through the red light doesn't go through the red light again.
Basically, it makes battleships like a lot more viable, which I'm happy about.
Does it?
I think it does.
I think there's only one of those battleships that gets more viable through this.
The Praxis?
And it's the only one that doesn't move slow as fuck.
I already used those ones, so. I already have a fleet of those.
I know you're talking about Eve stuff, but Manchita with the fried onions, cabbage, mashed potatoes, and ham and bacon. That really sounds yummy. I'm just waiting that out. Okay, commence with your Eve talk.
No, I think there's definitely gonna be like some people who are trying more things with battleships.
Yes, and they're gonna find out why it's a terrible idea.
I mean, I think that there are plenty of battleship comps that are going to be viable, Zoth, so. Not T1 battleships, faction battleships, but.
What are you gonna achieve with it?
If you can murk a hack fleet and they have to kill your Logi first, cool.
I mean, first you gotta get to the hack fleet.
Dude, it's 7 jumps to the border of XIX. Have you logged in, Soth?
Do I look like I log in?
No, you don't. It's literally 7 jumps to the border with XIX. That is 7 jumps to
at the border? Nothing.
I mean, there's been fights there the past few days. I mean, there wasn't one last night, but there has been. So, just saying, Soth.
Yeah, right. I still don't think that it's going to be viable.
I mean, you know what?
Too slow.
I mean, it doesn't matter if there's...
If you need to go and get to a fight, no matter if it's 7 or 27 jumps, you're gonna take the ship that's faster, so you get there faster.
Not if that comp's gonna eat shit. Like, yes, I'll take the comp that'll eat shit, or could I take the comp, maybe it takes me a bit longer, but I'll actually survive. Take the comp that's actually gonna survive. Like...
And the hacks will still run circles around you. Unless they are incompetent. And if they are incompetent, then it doesn't matter what you bring.
I'm not gonna, like, say publicly what I'm thinking for comps, at least on the smaller, on the mid-scale. I don't know what fucking line, I don't know what, Randus is doing, but I know what I would use, and, like, they would absolutely mulch most hack fleets, and have most hack fleets.
Right.
You remember that time we decided to use Munins against a Macarial fleet? How did that end?
I'm pretty sure that was before the Macarial nerf.
No, that was after the Mac nerf. We've done it multiple times.
We didn't have Macarials after the nerf.
No. I'm talking when we took them against hostile Macarials and ate shit.
Hostile materials.
Okay, do we want to talk about the competent thing again?
AC Macarial.
Also, yes, because you're gonna get in range of AC Macarial. What a great idea!
Well, you're in Munins, you just get TD'd twice and you're using two TCs. What are you gonna do? Just run away? Like...
Warp off.
Okay, and then you get in a fight and your objective's lost. Nice, have a nice day. Like...
And then you warp back in, you volley something, and you warp to a different perch. That's how Munins work!
No, what? What? That's... Okay, hold on for a moment. Since when are people using Munins like Sax? Like, yes, Sax would work. Like, yes, Munins could work like that, but no one's doing that, Soft.
Who warps off in Sax?
Sax, tornadoes.
Then
Sax
call them fucking
fleet.
tornadoes.
It's Sax fleet.
Because, Sax have been used as well.
Yes.
Sacrilegious. And yes, that is how some people use Munins.
I haven't seen Munins used like that, but okay. Like, just haven't. So, I'll take your word for that if that's how some people are using Munins.
Yeah.
Then use bubble all around you in 100k sphere. You set up drags and you're Gucci. Like, I don't see a huge problem there.
What are you trying to achieve? Are you trying to get a fight? Are you there for an objective?
If you're there for an objective, there's going to be an advantage of using battleships now. If they can't come within range, if they have to like play fuck games and can't keep DPS on a structure you're defending, stuff like that, like.
I mean, I could tell you how to get around those bubbles as well. It's not that hard.
Yeah, but again, you're talking your average, null block FC.
Which average null block FC has keys for hacks?
Oh my god.
Right, we come back to the whole...
Have you seen how people fly hacks?
Yeah, I mean, all of that comes back to the whole competent thing, right? I mean, I'm always expecting the enemy FC to be competent, because if he's not, I don't have a problem. But if he is, and I didn't expect him to be competent, I have a problem.
No, expect them to be competent, but like you're just there is ways to counter every little thing in this game. There's way you can hard counter hacks. I think battleships
Mike, battleships already counter hacks. They did so when we went to the north. We obliterated hack fleets with Tech 1 battleships. Right? nothing changed of that, and still no one's using them because they are too fucking slow to get anywhere.
Because they're also like more expensive. They don't have the tank they did when we went to the North South.
They weren't that expensive when we went to the North.
Yes, and they're kind of like even T1 battleships are expensive right now. Like
right now, yes, but in between then and now, no one has used TAC 1 battleships.
Yes, we have. Literally during the war, repeatedly battleships were used. Not all the time. In certain situations, yes, defensively. Yes. And Tess used them offensively. Horde used them offensively too.
Mike, I said earlier that I think these are going to be used defensively. If at all. Right?
I think that there are certain comps, i.e. Nightmares Macarials, which have a chance to be used offensively. I think defensively they'll be used as well. I think more so defensively. But I think Macarials and Nightmares will probably, I could see some groups using them offensively.
Macarials don't count because, guess what? They don't move slow as fuck.
Literally been advocating for the Macarial the entire time, Soth. God fucking
the Macarial... Come on, the Macarial doesn't count as a battleship. It's an oversized cruiser.
It's a battleship!
No, it's an oversized cruiser.
It's a battleship!
It flies as fast as a cruiser, it warps as fast as a cruiser, it's an oversized cruiser.
But it has the tank of a freaking battleship!
Yeah, so what? That's why it's oversized. It also has battleship guns, right?
I need a drink.
It is like the only tier 3 cruiser in the game. Not T3, tier 3.
Soth, you just want your Macarial fleets back. That's all you want.
I just want Macarial fleets back. If you bring back Macarial fleets, both Dirk and me are gonna stop playing again.
I mean, the other night Horde had a Paladin fleet. I'm not even joking. I know that sounds like a meme, but Horde had a 40-man Paladin fleet.
I mean, Fraternity uses do they use no, they don't use Paladins.
Vargas.
No, they don't. Do they use Vargas?
Yes, it is Vargas. FRT they use Vargas for ESS events. No, there was supposed to be like a fight over some fucking random ass fort in Faith, and then Horde Vanguard shows up with 39 Paladins and 2 Chronoses. Because they were going to be fighting Eagles. And Eagles have an EM hull. So they would have had a fun time shooting Tachyons at Eagles. Like, the only comp... Okay, yeah, you're shooting against Munins, but like... Seeing a legitimate Marauder fleet in this game just blew my... I was just like, oh, Jesus, what has this game become?
I mean, it is kind of a terrible idea, but it's Horde.
I mean, yeah, but they have the ISK for it, so, let them do them,
Right. Is Erik back?
I'm here. You guys were just talking.
We have 4 minutes left.
I know. But it was riveting conversation. You guys were into it.
A riveting conversation, right?
Just me and Soth arguing like normal?
Riveting.
Two FCs yelling at each other. One active, one not.
But, well, that's what makes everything work in EVE.
What, 2 FCs yelling at each other?
Yeah.
That's an interesting theory.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure a couple of doctrines have become things while people are yelling at each other, and then someone goes, wait, that's a good idea.
Since I've been involved in creating a few doctrines, yeah, I think that's the process.
It really is.
Well, do we want to do our one last thing now? Is that what you're saying or alluding to, Soth, or intimating?
Although most of the time it's someone going, hey, Arendis, look at this thing. It's terrible, right? And Arendis goes, wait, actually, this could work.
Yeah, I mean, that's usually what happened. That happened with a couple of things where we were talking about something. I'm like, hey, Arendis, what about this meme idea? Wait.
That's literally how we started using Feroxes.
No, that's how we started using Drakes, too. When we had the Drake fleet. What if we did a Drake fleet? Wait. Just...
Well, we covered a lot of ground today. So let's start with Caleb, because he's been so quiet this whole last part of the conversation. What's your one last thing, Mr. Caleb?
That the reason I have been quiet is because I have given up commenting on EVE Online, because it's just killing itself.
I really like the Irish food segment. We need more on that.
Get
We
Dark
really didn't
Shines
get
to come
much.
on. Get Dark Shines on here. Have them talk about
There you
their
go.
food.
All right, so Caleb, you got nothing? No one last thing?
That is kind of my last thing. I can't see anything that is going to bring me back to EVE Online. I think CCP has failed, or at least the Eco team has failed. And I think that's also back to why Ratati might be a little bit sulking, because, they didn't do what they set out to do. And to me, it looks like doom and gloom. It might take 2 or 3 years, but it's really not playable. The only reason that I still show up is because it's still the clubhouse of the nerd friends that I have made over the past now almost 20 years. So I can't really quit, but play it? No, it's not playable anymore.
There you go. Mike, you're up.
What was I gonna say? I don't know. I just want fights to happen. Like, more fights to happen, more fun to happen, and, like, more people to come to Delve. Marshals in Delve are not bait. Marshals are never bait. Always attack the marshals, especially the ones with my name on them. Please and thank you.
There you go.
That's I got.
Soth?
Well, I know that Caleb doesn't like these changes, but I think there's some good in them, right? I don't think they're going to achieve much, standing on their own, but I'm kind of hoping this that there has been a wake up call for CCP, and that's what caused these changes, instead of them just being, something that's going to stand alone, and then they're going to go back to the bullshittery that they've been doing for the past 3 years or something. I hate being hopeful with CCP because usually it doesn't work out. But we'll see. I mean, they did get Aurora into the game design team, and she's legit one of the few CCP devs who did good things lately, in my opinion.
Can I just add something to that? If CCP wants to go down the pipe of fucking on-rail games and all the other stuff, you should start by having some decent voice acting and some quest system with stories that are engaging and interesting. If you want to make this World of Warcraft, you're going to have to get really good at stuff you've never done in the entire 20 years that I've played. If you don't do that, it is not a fucking playable game. Even Lost Ark has better stories than EVE Online. Let's be fair here.
But Caleb, WoW was the first MMO. How could CCP ever do that?
I'm pretty sure EVE actually launched before World of Warcraft, but yeah.
But Caleb, WoW was the first MMO.
All right. I'm just gonna say for my one last thing, since this meme has popped up on my Facebook like 8 million times in the last 2 days. Whatever you do today, do it with the confidence of a 4-year-old in a Batman t-shirt. And those are words to live by, my friends. Okay, I'm just saying. words to live by. Okay, and then for those in the U.S. who get a 3-day weekend, enjoy your 3-day weekend here in the U.S. All right, that's about it. Everybody say bye.
Bye-bye. Don't forget to
Bye.
watch the Meta Show.
Yeah, Meta Show's up here in a little bit, like an hour. So make sure you're here to watch it. All right. Thanks, everyone.